good Saturday morning. God damn it. I wanted to scare you. I hope I did, and I hope you're having a good Saturday morning. Um, yeah. You know what this is, right? It's in the title. I'm gonna sit on your lap and I'm gonna yap a little bit. To what end though? Let's see. Um, first, let me do something. We have to center things around what we must. Oops, nope, that's not the tab I wanted. The tab I wanted was this. Unpin it.
You cannot.
Yes, you cannot. But you know what you can? Adjust the volume and like bring up the screen, right? That's something that I should be able to do. Let's see. Uh-huh. And then here, and then... Where is it? Hey, where the fuck is it, huh? Hello? You don't wanna, like... Ah, there we go. Of course. Now you should be seeing it. Well, I hope so anyways. Let's just... let's just try this, okay? Let's check the sound first of all. That's what we're going to do first. I am so curious about this one. Let's see it. So let's do the sound things. Wait. There. Okay.
You cannot.
Ah, too loud. Maybe here. Maybe here. What's up?
Perfect the martial art.
That should be okay for you, I think. Maybe like a little bit less like here.
You use martial arts to perfect yourself.
The Shaolin Temple is known for its warrior monks.
Nice. Okay, so this is perfect, I think. And if it's not, you're gonna tell me. And if you don't tell me, I won't know. Which is interesting. Actually, wait. I'll just increase it a little bit more just to be safe until somebody says otherwise. Maybe here. Maybe even here.
You cannot perfect the...
That should be okay for you, legitimately. That should now be okay. Okay. All right. Okay. You know how this goes. I watch a video and I say what the fuck I think about it, and you know, we discuss martial arts. And yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So let's get to it, right? Because it's 20 minutes and I tend to make these like last 2 hours, and I don't want to do that this time. This time I just want to chill. I just want to like go through it, have a nice conversation, and then get the fuck out of here. Because this Saturday, I have to work out. So, you know, I'm eager to do so. I would work out with you, as in on stream, but I'm feeling like a complete loser today. My lower body kind of hurts because I have been working out. And all these muscles and tendons are remembering slowly. Okay? Anyways, yeah. But I might still do it. I might still do it depending on how I feel. All right? But no promises. Either way, we have to start with this no matter what, right? Okay. So. And you can hear me normally, I think, or close to normal. Wait, hello? Wait a minute. 1, 2. Okay. That seems legit. Okay. So then, what do you have to say to us?
You cannot perfect the martial art. You use martial arts to perfect yourself.
Yes and no. Yes, you can modernize, optimize, enhance, augment, whatever you want to call it, martial arts. Yes, you should never think that you have the perfect form of it or the perfect grasp on it, of course. But can it improve? Yeah. And we're always striving to improve, right? With the goal of perfection, even if it may be unattainable. That doesn't matter. What matters is the effort to do so. And using martial arts to perfect yourself, no, you can never perfect yourself. You can only improve. But again, you should always strive with the intent of perfecting yourself. But that's why I say yes and no for both of these things.
The Shaolin Temple is known for its warrior monks.
It is known for many things, but I'm not gonna go into that because it can get political and I don't wanna.
But the secret lies in their ancient wisdom. Today, I sit down with Shi Heng Yi, world-famous Shaolin master and best-selling author, to uncover the truth about mastering the martial arts and life.
You need to become your own master. The master title is not the end, it's the beginning.
I agree with both of these things.
What is the first thing we should know on the journey to mastery?
In the very beginning, it's normal that the focus is going to be on fun.
Yeah.
On first of all, making it enjoyable, because if you suffer right from the beginning, nobody's going to stay with it.
That is funny because, like, by many accounts, joining the Shaolin Temple is a lot of suffering.
But now the special part about the martial art is not just the training that happens in the dedicated training hours. It's expressing itself in the normal conversations and in the normal way of when you walk through this lifetime. When you have the right teacher that teaches you virtues, that teaches you something beyond the physicality. That's why always try learning from the best.
That is true. Always try to learn from who you think is the best. Don't underestimate the rest, though. First of all, and second of all, yeah, no, I'd rather not. Like, if I'm learning a martial art, if the prerequisite is to be spiritual, I'm out of there. If the prerequisite is to be taught discipline by somebody I don't even know, I'm out of there. You don't need that shit. Sorry. That's my fucking take on that.
The question is, how do you know
Right.
if the teacher is the best or not? Well, you can't.
You have to just trust them.
You just have to trust them, yes?
Ah, yes, I will completely trust a stranger, as opposed to developing my own criteria through learning. Yes, that is very nice.
But at some point, once you are conscious about it and you have the choice to now really choose, let's say, a teacher, I would go for the skillful ones that already puts you in the right mindset of
Skill and mindset are completely different things.
staying humble and staying the student.
Yeah, I mean, humility is a virtue. That is true. Too much humility isn't a virtue. That is also true.
What has been the biggest struggle in your own journey to mastery? I'm sure you've had many struggles.
Let's that word mastery, we're also going to come to it. So you can have the best teacher,
Yeah.
you can have access to train every day, but you don't do it.
Exactly.
You know, then it's also like you have many opportunities, but if you don't use them and also find a way to integrate them into your life, everything just becomes very, very shallow. To make martial art a part of your life, it means it's part of your life, just like brushing your teeth. Every day a little bit is like definitely the way to go, instead of having these impulses and then suddenly you do nothing anymore for some time. And that
So again, like, this is not an absolute. I've gone through both phases and the in between phases in my life. I will tell you that yeah, you can take a break. Yes, you can start over. Yes, sometimes you can do it by mistake, and sometimes you can do it on purpose. Sometimes you don't even know you're doing it. You shouldn't really demonize these, like, impulses to maybe stop, giving a shit for a bit, you know? But yeah, of course, the best effects are going to be like you're at your peak, which is like when you, for example, can I compare myself to my peak? Let's say, like, back when I was going every single day for 4 hours a day, except Sundays, for like years and years, right? Can I compare myself physically and mentally to now, yes, you bet. Want to know why? Because it's like I have replaced some things with other things. That's why. So yes, shape wise and physique wise, maybe not, right? Or definitely not. But through this process that I underwent, at least by letting go, by deconstructing myself, and all that, I have managed to see what actually stays, what is worth keeping, what I actively thought about, what stayed with me, right? And that core that stays, you can now use to rebuild and then redo the process. Whereas it seems to me that a lot of martial arts masters and such, right, and students, so practitioners, because we're not talking about like sports arts, they tend to think that what they're doing is linear, that it's like well, vertical, let's say, but linear as well. Like, okay, yeah, you train, you become better. You train, you become better. You train, you become better. There's nothing else for them. That's a recipe for disaster, psychologically. You have to be ready to really just destroy your self-image, put yourself down a bit, rebuild, the whole thing. Because otherwise, what you're building is something very fragile that might never break, sure, but if it does, it's gonna crash on you, and that's gonna impact you uh, psychologically, definitely, physically, absolutely, definitely, because you might just decide to give up and like let go, just because you might consider yourself a failure. You might start thinking whatever you're doing isn't worth it anymore because maybe you lost a fight or something. You got beat, you got your ass beat, and now you're gonna be like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna be pouting. Um, so this idea of like, oh yes, we start from young age and then we build the supreme fighter. We bring we fucking we forge like people in the fires of Hephaestus's forge or something, and what comes out is a pure warrior. Like, yeah, bro, you're not a space marine. You're a complex human being. You cannot. I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead, right? I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm not trash talking anyone here. I'm always talking from my perspective, but from my perspective, that is like a very dangerous bet right there. Because there's always going to be somebody who didn't give a shit about any training that can slap your ass, right? And then what you're going to do? Are you going to break? Just because you were thinking that, like, oh, the more I do it, the more invulnerable I become, the more perfect I become, the more I've done, the more I've built. It's not like that.
For example, just doesn't make sense at all.
No.
Yeah,
So shallow isn't always bad, you know? Simple isn't always bad. Um, Changing up your lifestyle isn't bad. Changing your mentality isn't bad. Different inspirations aren't bad. And yes, sometimes you don't want to brush your fucking teeth. Sometimes not brushing your teeth takes you to the dentist, and the dentist is a cool guy, and now you made an acquaintance with a cool guy who can take care of you. What's wrong with that? So it's the same with martial arts. Maybe you let go a bit. Maybe you put on some weight, and then you sit in a room, and then you stream, and suddenly you're finding an outlet. You're finding a new interest. You're finding like do you see where I'm going with this? Unless, of course, you want to follow the whole path of the Shaolin, and then you get enclosed in some kind of closed environment, and then yeah, you just dedicate your life to this, and then you die. That's what it is.
why you spend like so many years training something, and just because a change of your academic education, a change of your location happens, why do you stop with something that has been part of your life for so long?
So how do you stay motivated?
Yes. If I do something regardless of whether it's right or wrong, why do I give up if situations change? Like that I don't understand the sentence at all. Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, what if the circumstances change? Hey, what if like I don't want to do it for a while? Then like, what should I just push myself to do it? I don't find any merit in that.
Motivated to be consistent in your training, because a lot of people struggle with motivation to just show up.
Prioritize. Ultimately, it boils down to this. What do you want? And if at some point you think that traveling the world and let's say abandoning and stopping all the martial art training before, okay, you can try that out, but you're also going to have the consequence from it at some point.
Of course you're going to have a consequence. You don't have to demonize that. Sure, you're going to have a consequence, you know? Even training every day is going to have a consequence. You know what consequence that is? You become a fucking social recluse. Just as much as I'm a social recluse right now. So basically it's the same thing. Yeah.
Just don't even give the option for it to stop. You change the location, you go to another city, doesn't matter, look in that city. Is there the same style of martial art that you practiced before? Number one. If there isn't another style that is similar, well, also not bad. Look into another system. Look at the similarities, look at the differences, all of these things.
Why? Just go to any school, learn something, take it, and then just like, you know, incorporate it. Like, I don't understand. This seems too basic.
Make you expand your mind in the field of martial arts. Sometimes the question, which one is the ultimate best martial art? Is it BJJ? Is it like Thai boxing? Is it kickboxing? Is it Shaolin Kung Fu? Is it karate? It boils down to the character who's doing it.
It boils down to that there is no separation and just learn from everything and just, you know, shave off whatever the fuck you don't like, doesn't work for you. See what works in what circumstances, you know, compare methods, compare like whatever, find what works for you, filter it out, get it, do it, that's it. Like, what is this whole, oh, like, because what he's saying right now is like, okay, are you an aggressive person? Go and learn Muay Thai. It's the same fucking shit. I can't stand this shit. Like, nah, nah.
Somebody who's lazy can do whatever martial art, and it's going to be a lazy type of martial art. It's going to be a weak style.
Why is lazy weak? Huh? Why is I'm super lazy, but I'm not weak. I can whoop your ass, but I'm very lazy. I'm a very lazy person, especially when learning. I'm like, oh man, I have to do this, but then I do it. But I'm really lazy, so nah. There must be some kind of translation error here.
And somebody who is very, very determined, has a lot of willpower, has a lot of dedication, I mean, he can do judo and just destroys you like nothing. You cannot.
Man, the implications from these sentences are like literally just hurting my fucking brain. Somebody who's super determined can learn judo and like. So you're implying that judo cannot fuck you up? Are you implying that only determined people fuck you up? Are you implying that like Ooh. Do I start unpacking or do I just like move on? My God. You see, I'm lazy. I'm lazy. This is it. I'm lazy. You see what I mean? Okay, there is, okay, the only correct thing to take from this is that, yes, your personality, I guess, will affect probably your preferences in certain things. Should that be the case? It shouldn't. So let's start with that. Like, that shouldn't be the case. It's not like Tekken where you pick a character, right? And you're like, oh man, this guy looks so muscular and hits like a truck. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's completely different than when it comes to real life and your choice of what you're learning. Okay, learn all that you can and then process it and filter it and have your standards, not standards affected by does this look like, you know, it's more the standards are more realistic as in can I do this if I'm hurt, can I do this if the ground is slippery, can I do this if like, you know. And then you can also you can also say, for example, maybe I can't do it when the ground is slippery, but can I do it when the ground is not slippery? And then you go, ah, yes, so maybe it's worth keeping for that situation, because of course part of your training should be what to use when. So again, we go to the whole fucking thing I've talked about before, where it's not a stance switch button. You don't press a button and suddenly you're in praying mantis, and then you press a button and now you're doing karate. It's like you have all those things, all right, and you just use what's there in your mind, including improvising, including, and you have to be aware of your environment, aware of your opponent. Like we've talked about this again. Like I just fully disagree with everything I've heard so far, like almost everything.
Perfect the martial art. It's never about me trying to make Shaolin Kung Fu perfect.
It should be. If you care about style separation, then I assume, which you shouldn't, but let's say that you do, because you're an ignorant bitch. But let's say that, yeah, you're an ignorant bitch, and so you just care. If I loved one particular style, why would I not try to contribute to it? Well, because it's sacred? Like to whom?
It's never about me trying to do karate perfect. No, karate is perfect.
No, it's not.
Shaolin Kung Fu is perfect.
No, it's not.
BJJ is perfect.
No, it's not. What?
You use these methods, you use these martial arts in order to perfect yourself.
Man. Okay.
This is how I like to see it. Any martial art puts you in a situation where you face yourself at some point. So meaning you need to create what suits you. There is no system that in a way suits you. You need to look what is available and make it suitable for you.
Yeah, so like the contradictions are too insane here. Like there are way too many contradictions that I don't even know where to start. That's why I'm baffled and silent. It's like, yeah, you can't perfect it, but it's perfect. So it was created perfect? So someone perfected it, or was it like perfect, or did God actually come down and like give some tablet to somebody? Like what like bro? No, nah, bro, no. Listen, I already don't like. I like kung fu. That is different. I do like kung fu as an idea. It has some cool ideas in there. It can like have merit like in the way that you can practice it. For example, if you want to practice in a certain way, some of the methods of striking are interesting. Some of the like the incorporation of stances is also a challenge that is like very interesting and probably a high level, as I've said, like quite a lot of high level there, because you need to find the right moment, you need to find the right strategy to end up in a certain position so that you can actually have that stance come out naturally and do something cool. If you can guarantee that result for that something cool, like it's a whole fucking equation. um, but it's a challenge to definitely use it as it is supposed in theory to be used. So in that regard, it does have merit because it's difficult training to do so. But like everything else that this guy has said is just literally just, what are you talking about? First of all, it's a lot of contradictions. Second of all, why are we separating? Why are we separating?
Suitable for your way of life, suitable for your way of thinking.
What do you mean for my way of life? What does it matter if I do boxing for my way of life? It doesn't. You know why it doesn't? Because any martial art you do is gonna do the same thing to you. You know, if you do it the right way and not as a sport, it's gonna do the same thing to you. You're gonna start thinking strategically. You're gonna start thinking like what you need to think. The style doesn't matter. It's not like if you learn judo, you're not gonna start thinking like a fucking warrior. It's not like if you learn this, you're not gonna start thinking like a fucking warrior. It all comes to the same point because it began from the same point, and all this separation does nothing. And all this fucking, oh, I'm a violent person, I'm gonna learn Muay Thai. Get slapped, get the fuck out of here, don't even talk to me. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Suitable for your physical attributes that you already possess.
You can change your physical attributes. In fact, I guarantee you that you should. You probably should. Unless you're like talking about extremes, in which case you have to adapt what you're learning to your body type. Okay, you can do that, and you can leave out what doesn't really benefit you for your build. But the situations we're talking about, we're talking like maybe people who are very very short, or people who are very 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 tall, or people who are absolutely obese, or people who are built like twigs by nature and they just can't do shit otherwise. Um, even those you can change to a large degree. So this whole thing is like just mysticism for the sake of mysticism.
You know, some people are taller, some people are smaller. Some people are bulky, some people are skinny. What is it that you can make it become part of who you are?
Let's talk about mastery.
Oh, yeah.
How do you define the word master or mastery?
We don't just only find masters in the field of martial arts. You can be a master electrician master, carpenter master, you know. So what does this master literally mean? It certainly is a person who has dedicated a lot of his lifetime in a specific area. That's why he became very, very skillful. So on the one side, we could say, if somebody is a karate master, if somebody is a kung fu master, he should have some type of skill set, some type of abilities that he can demonstrate, that he can express, which lies beyond someone who hasn't spent time with this martial art, for example. Now, if somebody practices 20 years any type of martial art and is being considered
20 years, huh? Okay, then I'm a master. Hey, cool. I'm a fucking master, dude.
a master, and then walks out on the street, and next to him, like an elderly woman, would just fall on the street, and he continues walking without doing anything. He might be skillful in what he's doing, but I'm sorry, this is not the understanding of when I would refer to him as a master.
Yo, that's erroneous. I'm sorry. Skill is nothing to do with morality, bro. No, this I think all this interview is gonna be me posing and saying no. First of all, by the way, I didn't do 20 years. That's a very arbitrary number. Let's set my own number. I've done more than 10 years of that shit. Fine, I'm gonna call myself a master then. Like, who's to say? Like, why is it 20 years specifically? That's like bullshit. Let's call it 15 years, and now I'm a master. Okay. First of all, so this mastery thing is dog shit, is what I'm trying to say. Of course, I'm not a master. Of course, somebody who's been doing this for 20 years isn't a master. They can literally cut a corner, and then there's the guy there with a warhammer, and it slams it in their face, and they die. Where's the mastering? Does that mean that they never mastered their art? Does that mean that mastery means being undefeated? Does that mean like if and what if I destroy that master? Am I now more masterful in that way? This is so arbitrary. That's why I'm trying to make fun of it, because this is so arbitrary. You know, it's like it's crazy to make such claims, and then to add spirituality and morality to it is a foul. How can I say implication? It's like completely wretched. So I should not. So I should. So you're telling me that I should not value someone's skill. Evaluate is the right word. Someone's skill based on their skill, but whether or not they are either using it for good or bad, whatever that fucking means, because we have not even agreed on that yet. And B, whether or not, like, elephants fly, like, you might as well, right? Like, why not at this point? Why the fuck not? What if I don't want to help that elderly lady because, like, you know, I just don't? What if that elderly lady the day before displayed a lack of mastery by being a bigot towards me because I'm trans? Why would I want to help her? Fuck that shit, dude. You know? So what are we doing here? Are we like, you know, that's the problem with with kung fu being monopolized by what is essentially a sect. Yeah, that's why you should decouple spirituality, you should decouple morality, you should decouple a lot of things from martial arts.
So meaning, it's not about mastery only of your skills, it's about mastery of your character. And
What about someone? So what about someone? Let's say that we agree on a set of characteristics and moral compass directions that we agree constitute a good person. But that person now, let's assume that they have no way to enact their goodness. They see the lady on the street and they just don't have the strength to pick her up or anything. They don't even think about it. But they're a good person otherwise. So now is that a bad person? Or the opposite? Like what if somebody does help the old lady up? Are they now a master despite not knowing martial arts? Then what are they a master of? Or a master of like being a good person? Like I don't fucking get it what this mastery thing is. There is no fucking mastery. There's nothing. You just practice and practice and practice and practice, and you try your best, and then maybe at one point you get to use your skills, and maybe you lose, and maybe you win. That's all there is to it.
The mastery of how you are living your life. How much understanding do you have for the people in this life? How helpful are you? How much are you using your, let's call it, elevated?
That is, of course, the reality of it. In your heart of hearts, you always act with the intent of winning and overcoming. Always. There's not gonna be a doubt in your head about it. Practically, what might happen is what I said.
Abilities to actually try and contribute to the bettering of our society. It's nothing that has only to do with your skills. It is your attitude towards life. We need a graduation system. We need systems in the field of martial arts to motivate people to continue their path. That's why you have no belt, then you make your first exam and you get the white belt.
Yeah.
And afterwards, sometimes you have the white-yellow belt, afterwards yellow, and then you move on orange, so whatever grading system there is.
Yes.
And ultimately, you have the black belt mostly, which is then being rewarded as now you are a master.
That is such hogwash. That's hogwash. I can prove it because belt systems are completely arbitrary and subjective, and also individual to certain schools and individual to certain styles. And there is no unified grading. And what the fuck is being graded anyway? Because I see the criteria here are extremely varying to the point where I can just get a black belt by this guy's criteria if I water my plants every day consistently. So, at that point, you might consider chokers black belts in fucking blowjobs, I guess. Are we doing that now? Are we like gonna arbitrarily just like, I don't get it. Like, this is, you know what the motivation is? I'm gonna tell you what your motivation should be. You shouldn't need a fucking motivation other than I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to be the best. I want to catch every fucking Pokemon. That's it. I want to be the fucking best. How do I do that? That's for you to figure out. I'm giving suggestions over time, of course. I'm giving you some food for thought here. And it may be correct or not, but it works for me. That's all the motivation I needed. Like, oh, damn, I like this. Let me fucking do this. I fucking love it. Let me do it. I want to do it. Never cared for a fucking belt or anything. And I know there's lots of people who say, oh, yeah, nice job. You don't get the belts? Okay, then in that case, you're just using it as an excuse to not be. Fuck you, man. I don't know. Come fight me. I don't care. Come prove me wrong. Come fucking fight me. Let's have a spar. Let's fucking trade some blows, bro. Let's see what belt matters in that. Because in Terna, I even know people who would whoop me and they don't have a belt. I know people who have a black belt and I whooped. I didn't even have to move. They just exhausted themselves, and they became mad and furious and didn't accomplish anything. And I didn't have a fucking belt and anything. I think the only belts I have is like, well, of course, the white one, I guess. In several martial arts, if we want to be technical. And then I think in a couple of those, I think in ninja, okay, in fucking ninja, just call it that. I can't with a fucking word. So in the ninja thingy, okay, I got, I think, up to like, what was it, like fucking orange or something, and then in Harang Do, whatever the fuck, I stopped. I stopped receiving belts. I was like, no, I don't care. I don't care. Teach me. I'll stay in the white belt forever. Fucking teach me. And I learned. And yeah. What are belts then? What is mastery? What is the grading? Why do I have to be motivated? I didn't like being you know, going through exams. I was like, what the fuck does that prove? It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't really do anything for me at all. I've broken wood. I've hit bricks. I have done forms and whatever else you want to call them. Yeah, and so they didn't do anything for me. I don't fucking, maybe I'm fucking stupid.
Yes, but what sounds like the end of the way, it is literally just that, Jesse, you have spent the last 14 years showing that you can stay committed, dedicated, loyal to your training. That's why right now, as a symbol of your achievement, you are being graduated the master's level.
No. If I would call anyone a master, it would be somebody who has literally participated in conflict, has survived conflict. For better or worse, that's my criteria. Like, have you used this shit to survive? Like, literally on a daily basis for like years and years. Have you done that and went through the other side of it to the point where you can now say, hey, if the next fight kills me, I have lived a good warrior life. Like, that is a master to me. That's my criteria. Not that we should strive to do that. I'm not warmongering. I'm just saying that, like, if I were to call somebody a master, it would be someone who has done so much with what they know and proven their worth by doing them. Because you see the person next to you, so they have survived, so they don't have to prove anything. They're there. The other person isn't. It's simple as that. You know, it's simple as that. That person, if they accomplish that using whatever the fuck skills they have accumulated, right? Their strategy, their critical thinking, their awareness, their skills in combat, their skills with weapons, their skills with this. That person is a master of war. And they can strategize and they can analyze, and they use psychology, they use morale, they know how to build friendship among fellow warriors. They you know, all of that's a complete fucking package. That person I would call a master of war, of combat, not of Shaolin, not of karate, not of this, not of that. Just that person can fight. That's what I would mean. Like, that person can provenly fight, not in a ring, not spar. They have done this. They have fought. They have this mentality. It carried them through. Blah blah blah. That's the closest I can get to calling somebody a master of the art of, well, you know, of combat, right? Now, whether they're a good person, whether that's just all like nothing to do with, honestly. Maybe they were fighting for their own cause. Maybe they couldn't see it, right? Maybe this, maybe that. But like morality, maybe they're just a mercenary. But morality doesn't play a role in how masterful you are in that sector, right? And so for me to call somebody a master just because they did the grind of the belts, ooh, not gonna happen, buddy.
Yeah. So, does it mean right now that something has ended? No, it's just like I said it. You showed there is something you can really commit to 14 years long. And now comes the greatest mastery. Now continue this attitude and expand it to all other areas that are still lying ahead of you. Whether it's martial art or not. Whether it is like we're new into family life, you know, dedicate your energy, dedicate your
What if I don't want family life? What if my whole life I wanted to be war? What if I want not war, but like, you know, training? What if I want that? Like, what if I like? Why is there such dogma? Why is there such like, yeah, you come to the temple, you train 20 years, you're now a master. Now go and spread the word of the Lord. Like, it's too much like that. I don't fucking know. I just kind of disagree. No offense. I just disagree. Maybe some people vibe to that shit and like, okay, cool, I guess. I don't vibe to that. I'm just like I'm all for like learn what you can, man. Learn what you can, do what you can, enjoy it. Because remember, this guy said in the beginning, to lure them in, you have to make it fun. I'd say it should be fun. Don't make it fun. It should be fun to you to do these things forever. Forever. Why would I do something that isn't fun to me anymore? Just because it became a way of life? Well, just because I did it for 20 years now, I can't escape it. And even if I don't find it fun anymore, I shouldn't stop because what? What's gonna happen? Huh? What's gonna happen? The worst that can happen is you forget a few things. You kinda, as we say, fall back to the first style again. Well, guess what? That's also martial arts. Start again. Start fucking again. Aren't you supposed to have this like indomitable will? Start again, motherfucker. It's what I'm trying to do. You know?
Your attitude, dedicate your loyalty in making this family in the best possible way, just as much as we loved our martial art. Now it's time to express it in a different area.
You can know love without martial arts. You can do all that about your supposed family without martial. Like, why is this combined here? What is going on? This is very interesting that like Shaolin views it or view it, I guess, in that way. That seems, my God, that's restricting and very dogmatic and like on like railroaded. It sounds like.
The master title is not the end, it's the beginning. It's all about self-mastery. Don't look for a master out there and lift him up.
You can't master yourself because your concept of self is a fluid thing. And martial arts are also a fluid thing. You can't master them. Nor can you use them to master yourself. Nor can you use yourself to master martial arts. It's like, what are we doing here? This exercise is kind of crazy.
Up on the pedestal and pray to him and treat him like a guru and think that he is something better than you. Well, if it motivates you for you to bring the best out of yourself, it's good so.
No! 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 Don't put anyone on a pedestal. Challenge them. What?
But that is the essence. You use this lifetime that you have available and master yourself. Self-mastery. You need to become your own master. We all are masters.
If we could do that, it would be a useless thing, because then it would mean that like I can just grind it and eventually I'll master it. But you can never master yourself because you change in ways that you don't even realize. And then when you confront yourself about certain things, you realize that you've changed. Now you have to adapt. Now you have to start over. How do I work with what I got now? I used to be disciplined. Now I'm not. What do I do with that? You know?
It's just sometimes that master is sleeping. That master is lazy. That master is upset. Yes, find a way to bring out the best master inside of yourself.
Some people may not believe that this is possible. Do you think the mastery of martial arts is for everyone?
You want to play tennis,
Okay.
okay? I do think that the intensity of training for tennis and the intensity training for any martial art is quite different, because the martial art encompasses so many different layers and areas of the body, which also means you are facing way more struggles that are actually being represented also as the struggles of this life. I'm not sure if, let's say, painful experiences are a part of when you do tennis training.
Yes, they can be. Oh my God, you're fucked up, dude. Get out of your house a little bit, touch some grass. Or of the temple, I should say. Bro, I know people who have strived in their respective sports. Even in sports martial arts, even in combat sports, they have overcome psychological and emotional moments that would break you to be where they are. and you dare diss them like that and say, oh no, in martial arts we overcome a lot more and the physical blah blah. Let me tell you something. Right? To do the things I used to do, to be able to do the things I used to be able to do, I need about 10%, 15% better physical condition than I am now. After years of being lazy and not doing anything but lifting my fingers to type on a keyboard. So it's not that fucking difficult. A tennis pro player works out, prepares, and studies far more than I have ever studied to understand martial arts. And I have a good understanding of martial arts. And yet, when I see somebody, maybe chess, maybe swimming, maybe even dancing and clubbing, maybe even drawing, and sometimes maybe just existing. Some people manage to do that a lot better than I do, just existing. They have mastered that. They have mastered their troubles. They have mastered a lot of other things that I can't. Why would we imply that because you're doing martial arts, you're immediately superior to any athlete or any other person who engages in another interest? Why are we assuming that they don't have hurdles to overcome that would break martial artists, that would break a person like me, for example? Come on. This is, I don't agree. I don't agree with any of what this guy is saying.
It can be exhausting,
Yeah.
you have muscle ache,
Yeah.
but is there pain involved? Is there the fact involved that there are just stretching exercises or even hardening exercises or even stamina training that it's just painful? Okay? Literally walking through the valley of pain. I think what is being developed here, character-wise, is different than a normal sport, let's say like this.
I fully disagree. I don't agree with what this guy is saying. He's deluded in that regard. Sorry, and has no respect for other people and underestimates completely other activities. So that also contradicts what he was saying before when he was like, "Oh yeah, if you do anything else, you can apply the same logic." It seems to me that what really this guy is saying is like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely superior." And if you apply it in tennis, you're just immediately going to be a better tennis player. And if you apply it anywhere, you're just going to be better at anything. But why do it? Because what we do is just better. That's what I hear.
This is why I think that the martial art training is suitable very much when it comes to character building.
But there is one truth. There is one truth in this. And that one I have noticed firsthand. To a degree, there is overlap. To a degree, there is overlap. So, for example, if you're, but it is like something that overlaps both ways. You have to also understand that. So, for example, if you are practicing every day in martial arts and you're sparring and you have your friend and you're like practicing together and you're, and all that, there comes a point where you will have built, inescapably, you will have built enough strength and you will have built enough character and you will have built everything enough to actually perform well, not perfectly, but well, in other areas which you have never even touched. Dancing, right? Basketball, running, swimming, climbing, right? And the same goes the other way around. So if you are a very good dancer, you have inadvertently built flexibility, you have inadvertently built enough of all of that to then be like, oh, I can actually do this. And then you can perform like some strikes, you can perform and you will not feel tired. And you will have a good understanding of your opponent's weight and position, because dancing does that, even if you don't understand it, but it does that. You will have a good understanding of body mechanics, understanding of like what happens if this person touches me here, I can then react somehow. Like the concept is not alien to you anymore, you know? So there is overlap, but it goes both ways. And from there, it's up to your mind, right? Your creativity and imagination and your confidence and all that to just say, oh, it clicks. I can fight like that. I'm actually, I can fight. And then it clicks and you're like, ah, yeah, I see it. Other people just don't have that kind of spark, that kind of fire, fighting spirit. And they might go, oh, I don't understand. You know, my understanding stops completely here because what's beyond here is to me a dark, deep ocean that I cannot see through. You know? And in sometimes, in some cases, I don't want to see through. I don't care for what's there, or I don't have any, or maybe I just demonize it as well, you know, or I've never thought about it, and so I'm scared of what that will do to me as a person. Like, what does it mean for me that I now have the capacity, which I never knew before, to hurt someone suddenly? Or the opposite, what does it do to me now that I know that I have the capacity to hurt someone, therefore I can defend myself? What does that do to me now? You know? Not a lot of people want to make that like extra, not extra, it's not an extra, like that detour from what they're learning into martial arts. But is there overlap, like practically, physically overlap? Yes, there is. So, yeah. There, at least there is that, I guess, which is not exactly what this guy said. It's literally just if you want to be generous to him, you could say that that's kind of part of what he said, or what can be inferred by what he said. But you'd be generous.
How do you view the different stages of mastery? That first big step is to stay with one thing first of all for quite a long time.
To build a
Why?
foundation.
To build the foundation.
Why?
That also means that you have also personally grown already in that period.
No, no, you don't need to stay on one thing. There are certain things that you should probably start with, but arbitrarily saying, ah, you cannot learn what is for orange belt because you are a white belt is nonsense. What if you're really good at it? What if your learning is faster than other people? What if you have a natural talent for it and you just take it? You just take very fast, you know? What about that? Should you stump yourself? Because I'll tell you what, whenever I was, for example, and I'm not saying that, oh yes, I learn very fast, but I'm just trying to give an example, like an actual real example. So for me, a lot of what I saw, it was like people just underestimate what is there in a white belt, for example, content book, let's say, right? And then they also underestimate. They think that like if you reach the black belt as fast as you can, you now already know everything that there is to know before the black belt. But what is before the black belt? What if I told you? What if I without you knowing, right? Without this guy knowing even. Let's say that I am an instructor under this guy, all right? And I do an experiment. I say, "Hey Bob, come over here, Bob. You're white belt, right?" And Bob is going to be like, "Yeah, yeah, of course I'm a white belt. Yeah, you know it." I'll be like, "Okay, Bob. So look, here's a technique for a white belt." And I show him a technique, a method of striking. I share a bit of knowledge that is, by this guy's arbitrary system, a black belt bit of knowledge. And I show it to Bob, and Bob understands it. What happens now? What the fuck happens now, huh? I just destroyed your whole fucking system of belts and shit. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Learn what you can, my dude. Learn what you can. Always seek to improve by everything. If you find somebody and they tell you, I just came back from the mountains and I was meditating and I came up with a certain truth, a certain, like, look, if the body moves that way and you move this way, then X happens. What are you going to say? Are you going to say, you know what? Can I come back to you in 10 years because like I'm a white belt? Are you like that fucking dumb? No, you're going to say, hey, show me. Show me this thing. I want to learn it. I want to see what that thing does for me. What are you going to show me? What kind of movement is going to be incorporated in this? I want to dissect it. I want to see all of it. Just give it to me. Is that bad? According to this guy? Like, I can't fucking believe this. Like, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Meaning, the possibilities that are now opening up for your life are also becoming more distractive. And amongst all the distraction, how important do you still keep that type of attitude?
Wait, what?
More distractive.
Huh?
To build the foundation. Yeah. That also means that you have also personally grown already in that period.
Okay.
Meaning, the possibilities that are now opening up for your life are also becoming more distractive.
What?
And amongst all the distraction, how important do you still keep that type of attitude that led you to mastery in the first place? How much?
But it doesn't lead you to mastery because we're talking about starter level. So wait, so okay, so this guy's confused like 100%. 1 second. This is probably translation problems. 1 second.
When it comes to character building.
How do you view the different stages of mastery?
All right, the different stages of mastery. Okay.
That first big step is to stay with one thing first of all.
So the first thing this person tries to establish or to argue for is that you should stay on course. Don't learn other things. Don't hurry up. Just stay on course. Okay, I already expressed my disagreement. Moving on. So he says the foundation is to stick with the basics. Yeah.
For quite a long time.
Okay, I already expressed why I disagree with that, but that's the argument. Okay.
The foundation.
To build the foundation.
To build the foundation. All right, so we start at the beginning of our martial arts journey and we limit ourselves on purpose for whatever erroneous reason. And we stay a long time there and we go like, okay, I'm going to stay here no matter what. And then?
Yeah. That also means that you have also personally grown already in.
And so for some reason that arbitrarily means that you have also grown already, which like, no.
That period. Meaning, the possibilities that are now opening.
So he's trying to say, if I understand it now, he's trying to say that the more you expose yourself to, the more distractions you're going to have. Why would you see them as distractions? I call these things options. I don't know what you call them. I call them options.
Up for your life are also becoming more distractive. And amongst all the distraction, how important do you still keep that type of attitude?
So he's saying that the more options I have, the less likely I am to be disciplined? I am so fucking confused and in complete disagreement with everything I'm hearing.
That led you to mastery in the first place. How much can you keep that still
Is it really mastery in the first place if you've limited yourself so much?
inside your
Are you really a master if you're getting distracted by additional options? What?
life? Next step is to find a harmony between all of this.
What? Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
To find the harmony and remind yourself about that time when you were really dedicated for one thing, but now knowing, okay, but there are now so many different distractions.
They're not distractions. There's just more knowledge.
Possibilities for me.
Possibility. Yes. Yeah. Possibilities. That's good. That's not bad. That's actually good. That's good. You should have possibilities early on in your martial arts journey. Also early on in your life, you should not be deprived of possibilities for the sake of like railroading yourself into something. My guy, your points of view are toxic.
Yeah. Don't get lost in them. Catch yourself back, remind yourself.
Hey, if you ever feel lost, like let me just tell you this. If you ever feel lost because of the amount of knowledge around you, all you have to do is try it all. The order doesn't matter. Belts don't matter. If something strikes your fancy, try it. Try it. Oh, the secret forbidden technique of the ninth chamber. Try it. Try it. Let's see what it does. Fucking try it. Nothing bad will come out of it, I promise. I promise you're not gonna summon a demon. I promise it will not destroy your moral integrity. I promise it will not do anything to you. If I walk up to you and I tell you, hey, here is something really advanced, and you go, oh, I am now lost, then I would argue that your mind is weak. You're not able to grasp. How are you not going to be able to contend with somebody showing you new content, right? If that's the case, if you cannot contend with that, how do you expect to contend with an opponent who will show you something that you've never seen before? You have no hope. I always say part of being a martial artist is to have creativity, understanding, imagination, awareness, intuition. You need to build experience. You're not gonna build experience by limiting yourself. You're gonna build experience, even exposing yourself to so many potential options that you get overwhelmed, and then trying not to be overwhelmed and ordering it quickly in your mind and understanding what each thing does and testing it and seeing if you like it. That is part of martial arts. That is part of building a mindset that will not calcify, that will not be distracted later on. But if you are used to seeing things, to being spoon-fed, okay, things at a certain pace and all that, you're gonna meet a person. That person's gonna whoop your ass because they're not gonna spoon-feed you. They're gonna just like slap it in your face 10,000 times a second, and you will be like, already you will be on the ground trying to figure what their first reaction to your first attack was, and you'll already be on the ground, and you will have received like 20,000 attacks. And you will be like, oh my God, I didn't have time. Like that was so distracting. Oh my God, I was limiting myself to fucking white belt stuff. This is beyond my belt. And then that also creates a false mentality of like, oh my God, I'm white belt. Oh my God, the other person is brown belt. I will never fucking defeat them now. Like, are you dumb? Are you fucking dumb? Don't even start martial arts if you think that way. Don't even start. Don't even try it. Don't try it. Don't try it at all. It's the same thing. You're a blacksmith. You're a carpenter. Somebody walks up to you and they show you, look what I have created. And you look at it. And just by looking at it and with your understanding in the moment, you start understanding what they've done and how it moves and how it is able to fold into itself. And you can click it a certain way and then it stays that way. If that overwhelms you, that's because you have limited yourself from the start. That's because you learned under a person who was dogmatic and was like, no, you should not learn that because that is not for your level. Fuck you. I define my level. I will see what you have to offer. Okay, I will see what you have to offer. And then, and you know what? I'm not completely against having some kind of safety measure of like, and when I say safety measure, I mean of like somebody not learning something in a bad way, right? Hey, that is a subscription. Oh my God, from Kaori. Oh my God, thank you. 24 months, 2 fucking years, 2 years of listening to me. Oh my God, you're insane. You're clinically insane. You're literally just insane at this point. You're nearing Neris's level of insanity. Thank you. At least we're gonna go crazy together, Kaori. Just like that night in your apartment in Final Fantasy. We're gonna go crazy and we're gonna have some auras in speedos dancing for us. Snack? Oh my God, I'm gonna have you as a snack. You're too far away. I can't have a snack. I'm sorry. I just had some coffee though. That's good. Ah. Oh god, your generosity is so fucking distracting. What was I even talking about? You ruined my train of thought with your generosity. How dare you? So, but thanks. I really appreciate it. So, oh yeah, the example with the carpenter, right? So yeah, and so I'm not against safety measures of safety for against not learning something in a way that builds a bad habit. That's the only thing I'm saying. That's different. But some safety can be found, some security can be found in that you can maybe say to somebody, and this is the most gatekeeping I'll ever accept, which is like, okay, here is how you perform a technique. And then you see that person performing that lever technique, let's say, on somebody else, and they seem to not understand their own strength, and so they cause damage, right? So in order to avoid that, maybe you could show them first how exercises on how to control their body a little bit better. And that's the only kind of gatekeeping I would say I agree with. Otherwise, and the same for the carpenter example. Like, what if the guy doesn't know, can't recognize the wood or the resins and everything else, and the kind of polish and everything else that will be used in order to achieve this result without compromising the structural integrity of the device. For example, you need to learn those things because then you might know how to shape it, but then maybe it's just not flexible enough. Maybe it is bent in a certain way. Maybe, I'm just making up examples, right? That's the only kind of gatekeeping I would accept. But purposefully keeping people down is dumb. It's completely dumb. So, one second, because I pressed like a button somewhere. Okay.
Yourself, there was something, a part of your life that always gave you a strong foundation and a stability. I don't say don't go to party. I just say go to party, and before that, at least do training.
Yeah. And remember,
Nah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I used to have that kind of mentality. Those 14 or so years, 12 or so years, I used to have that mentality. I will go out with my friends, but first I will train. It did nothing. The training itself, when I wanted to train, that did something. The training that I forced myself to go through, that did nothing.
your training and why you started.
Yes.
What would you say are the biggest misconceptions about this journey to mastery that you see with your students or others?
I do think it's delusion.
Delusion.
Reach coming from you, my guy.
I do think it's delusion. The master title, most of the times, we give it to somebody because if there would be a group and I present you, okay, this is Master Jesse, automatically you have a type of authority, you have a type of...
You have no authority. You literally have no authority. Even by this guy's own words, you would then have no authority. Because he has failed to define proper attributes of a master beyond, oh, I have stayed here longer than somebody else. How does that guarantee to me that you know more than me? Maybe you do. I'd argue it's not certain, because my real life example is that it's definitely wrong.
Of respect, even though people don't know you. On the one side, it's good. It's intended to be like this. On the other
Why?
side, it's also not good. Because if you don't have the skills and people portray you as a master and people without knowing you give you the trust towards you, well, you can mess up a lot of people like
Exactly, my guy, which contradicts what you were saying earlier. Oh my God.
this.
Oh, yeah.
You must be aware of yourself, of how you are using this type of power. And if your
There is no power.
character is not built properly, you start building
what is properly? What is a properly built character, and why does that define me as a master in martial arts? What does my skill in martial arts have to do with whether or not your arbitrary fucking criteria of a good person, whatever the fuck that is, in your fucking mind, have anything to do with like my skill in martial arts? Like, why?
Up to be the master.
The master. The master? 1 second. The master? Okay, just 1 second, please. The master, huh? All right, 1 second. All right. I'm gonna just give me a second. Is this the clip that I'm looking for? 1 second, please. Just 1 second. Just don't worry about it.
4, 3, 2.
For God's sake, what now?
Who run Barter Town?
Damn it, I told you no more embargoes.
More blaster. Who run Barter Town? Who run Barter Town?
You know who.
Say.
Master Blaster.
Master Blaster.
Say loud.
Master Blaster.
Master Blaster? What?
Master Blaster runs Barter Town.
This is literally your Shaolin temple. Literally. Say it again. Who runs this temple? You. Who? Master. No. Say it properly. Master. Master what? Master runs the Shaolin temple. The Master? Okay. Alright. Cool, bro. Cool story. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Who runs Barter Town, man? You better beware. Around this fucking Barter Town, there's only the master. So.
Okay. The overmaster. Yeah, so.
The grandmaster.
You start to like yourself in the role. You start to like the fact of people.
So essentially what this guy is saying, we have created a system that can make you delusional, but everyone else is delusional if they think they can climb up the system. And there is a danger of the guy at the top also being delusional. So we have invented another role, which is the double master. And that role, well, they only run the danger of becoming, delusioned with power. And so that creates a problem. So we have to be humble. So we created this other system, which is humility and all that, which determines if you're a master or not. This sounds a lot like the way that we think is bad, but we fixed it by inventing another way, which can also be bad. But that's why we have another way, which can also be bad. So in order for it all of that to not be bad for you, you should probably never reach that level that allows you to define the level before it, because that might affect the level before that. So once you reach that level, you should really be somebody who ideally cannot reach that level. We have it's a fucking, I don't know why I'm not in the temple already. I don't know why I'm not in there. I should be in there.
Listening to you, people bowing to you. Yeah, and what is it that you're doing? You're building something that I do think is not helpful along the way to that self-mastery expression I explained to you before. Because at some point, this self-mastery, mastering yourself, meaning having an understanding for the world, ultimately also means building up the people and the surrounding around you, regardless of you. The
Yeah, that sounds pretty much like a fucking cult. I'm sorry.
real masters at some point are simply invisible. They don't leave a trace.
Okay.
No, they just spread their seeds, and knowing and everybody starts to grow around them, and they all will think ultimately they did it.
What the fuck am I Okay. Are you ready for me to blow your mind? I'm gonna blow your fucking mind right now. You're not gonna believe the delusion what I'm about to say. What if I told you that I can beat you, but I've never ever done anything of what you're saying? What if I told you there is a chance I can defeat you in duel, but I've done nothing of what you're saying? By that guy's logic, I should not stand a chance. I should absolutely not stand a chance. I lack the morality. I lack the discipline. I'm lazy, weak, and shallow. I gave up on my training for 6 years. I am not at my peak. I've never ever considered the possibility of like martial arts ever being tied to any kind of like morality. So what happens if I beat you? Not in a silly example where I pull a gun and shoot you, but like, what if I beat you? Fair and square. What does the possibility of that? Because there is a non-zero chance. I would argue far more than non-zero chance that I can do it right now. What does that mean about specifically this cult-like approach, this dogmatic approach, this close-mindedness, this sanctimonious and conservative guarding of something that for some reason is seen as holy and not allowed to be modernized or flourish? What does it mean for all that? Did I just shit all over you? Like all over your ideology? Because make no mistake, I'm not doubting the person's skill in martial arts. I'm saying though that is completely irrelevant with 90% of what this guy has told you in this video. 90% of it is not even recyclable trash that you don't need. Right? Now, what if I blew your mind even further and I said, what if I told you that I know people who have, again, never stepped a foot in any Shaolin temple, never had anything to do with martial arts, they have zero chance of fucking defeating you. But let me tell you, they are smarter, kinder, more lovely, accepting, open-minded, and likable, in case I didn't say that already because I forgot, than you and your whole stupid system. And they don't care to be called a master by anyone. So this whole system of this guy's philosophy, like this guy's ideology, this guy's like mindset, I don't know how much of that is exactly the Shaolin way, right? So I'm not gonna judge as a whole, but at least what this guy is saying, who is also claiming that a lot of other people are delusional and weaker and shallower and more incapable because he has said these things by implication. Right? Like, what's going on in your mind then? Like, this whole ideology is fucking rotten. I'm sorry. It's fucking, it's full of fucking holes. It's taking water. It's leaking. Dude. I don't fucking know. I don't agree with almost anything this guy has said throughout.
But you just know at some point, yes, thanks to the contribution and to the energy that you gave to them selflessly.
Because you're a master, a true master.
Yeah, because you're a master, and then you go into a room and suddenly everyone becomes like a little bit more masterful. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Are you talking about being a good influence on people? What does that have to do with like with fighting? What does that have to do with kung fu? What does that have to do with martial arts? Or my skill level?
Let's call it, this is at least that idol, that vision that I have when it comes to that word master.
Wait, oh my fucking god. Have I muted him? No. Okay. Wait, I haven't muted him. Okay.
So it is the opposite of building a strong personality and portraying yourself on the stage of now the master comes.
Well, is it possible to balance them both? Because some people like you are known for being a Shaolin master, but you also have this humility, and somehow it seems like you found a good balance.
No, he hasn't found a good balance. He's just to me he sounds like he's conflicted, which I would argue is the opposite of having balance, and also seems to. So either he's conflicted or he has trouble wording what he's trying to say, or he's having a very bad day today.
I do think in order to figure out how to balance something out, it means in the first place you realized those two sides are existing. What is it you're doing during the class? Are you actually just enjoying how you show off your abilities in front of them and they all stand in awe in front of you? Is this why you had the training?
Yeah.
Or is it more like that it's not about you, the class? It's about how can you, with the knowledge and experience that you possess, make all of them actually see what they are capable of. So there's a different type of why you enter the class and why you teach. I went through both. And this is why at the moment, I'm telling you that I do think that the final area is, there's no master anymore.
Ah, cool. So to add another layer to the previous fucking word salad, now you also realize that not only do you have to be someone not qualified to be a master, but then once you attain that fucking weird state of being that is indescribable and unstable, you also realized I did all of that for nothing now. And that is the true mastery of mastery of the whatever this guy is on. So instead, I'll say this. Once you are happy with yourself, there is nothing wrong with expressing that happiness, whether it's in the form of dancing, performing, any other thing, and also martial arts. There's nothing wrong with that. In and on itself, in a vacuum, there is nothing wrong with that. Whether a person is doing it in vain or not, like because of vanity, that has nothing to do with the whole thing. If you catch my drift. And if by doing so you also inspire others, because what inspires us? Let's think about it this way. What inspires us? I'll tell you what inspires us. When we see somebody being happy and capable and having fun while doing something that they enjoy. That's when you get inspired. And when that something also bears results that are observable and testable, it then solidifies in us that this is something that also works. And then if we share a similar mindset, we might decide to try and reach that through our own way. Not exactly what that guy does, but what we are going to do. So now to call that person a master is unnecessary. What does that add to anything? Nothing. What would any system add to anything? Nothing. Right? So why would I have to find balance in anything of that? What if I just here's an easy example, all right? Here's a very easy example to dismantle what he's saying. I was at the park with Kostas and Katya, and if I remember correctly, also Dimitris. And we were training. And at the park, there were also some kids because it's a park. And so the kids would stop what they're doing and they would come and sit there and they would look at us. And you would hear them every now and then go like, "Oh, look at what they're doing. Look at what they just did." And they would laugh or they would be impressed and we would also laugh because we would found it like kind of like embarrassing but also kind of cute, I guess. And one of them would ask, for example, Costas, like, "Hey, sir, can you teach me to do that?" And then Costas would be, "Yeah, let me show you a little bit of it." And he would. And then the kid would be like, "Oh, I would be impressed." That's a cool atmosphere, right? That's a cool atmosphere. Try having that kind of atmosphere under the system that this guy is describing. And is really a master someone who inspires people if these people have already been indoctrinated as fuck and introduced to a cult system with grades and rankings? And they're also deep enough in it to believe that like arbitrary weird shit like belt systems and other stuff matters to anyone other than somebody indoctrinated already into that system? Is it difficult to inspire those people to want to stay in that system more? Not at all. That is like manipulation 101. It's nothing. It's like I can do that in my sleep. I don't care. That's dog shit. That's fucking dog shit, honestly. Oh, and you shouldn't frivolously show your techniques around because that is vain. I don't think it's vain. I think it's just like my personal expression. That's what I want to do in the moment. I feel good doing it. Fuck you. You know? I don't care. I don't give a shit. You can judge me if you want, but I won't give a shit. I don't understand what is so difficult to understand about this concept. Like I am confounded by the lack of understanding of that, as opposed to like having to have this constant like battle with yourself of like, oh, I am the master, but not really because that would be distractive. But then I also have to enter a room and everyone has to be like standing on attention and admiring me, but also not. But at the same time, I should also be perfect, but also not. Like, what is going on? What is going on for real? What the fuck is going? And somehow I have to be disciplined and I have to follow some arbitrary rule set. And if I don't, but if I do, I'm superior to everyone. But if I don't, then I'm also like a failure. And that's why I should constrict myself, rather restrict myself. Sorry, to like what is going on here?
No more master. All done.
Always a student.
Yes.
So you talk about how to be a good master. So what about being a good student? What should people think about when they go to a
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
class and receive instructions from a master?
Two things to really differentiate. Within the class, everyone is a human. This is not about
Doesn't sound like it. It really doesn't. It really doesn't fucking sound like it. I'm sorry.
if one human is more valuable, whether somebody is a master and others are student.
Okay.
But there is a hierarchy.
Yes.
There is the master, the
So it does matter then.
teacher who possesses something, and then there are other people who want to have it.
Yes.
So there's a very clear direction also. How does the information and the knowledge flow?
It should flow freely. And you should debate about it and talk about it and expand it and expose it and test it and give it to people and teach them how to use it and be happy.
It flows from, let's say, top down.
Yeah.
It flows from the master to the student. And this is just how it is in natural. If I know I want to have something from you, I don't come there and ask for it to have it.
No, the other guy should show it and you should be interested and then just approach them.
No, because you have it. It's your decision if you want to give it to me or not. So in which way would I naturally behave if there is something you have I know you have it, and I would kindly ask you to share that with me. And automatically you come into the area of be respectful, stay humble.
There is no need for that. Just observe them if that's okay with them. Again, the example I gave with those kids, right? They just sat there. They weren't particularly humble or particularly spiritual. They just were like, "Oh, that's cool. Can you show me?" And Costas was like, "Yeah, sure." And that's it.
Know your position. Listen. Don't argue.
Yeah, don't argue, of course. Don't fucking debate it. Don't you dare debate it, because then we might debunk it as well. And we can't have that in our little sect system. That teaches some kind of like weird shit. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Man, if I ever open a martial arts school, oh boy, I'm gonna have my own little cult. You fucking wait and see. I'm gonna become like Scientology 2.0. You're not escaping that. And you better show respect and stay in humility. And you know what? While in the process of that, why don't you abandon all material goods and just like, dedicate your soul to me and your firstborn as well? Why not 2 in 1? And that's cool with me. And in exchange, I will tell you, don't seek to learn. Just suckle on my teeth of knowledge. You know, one drop at a time, because I can't handle giving you more. Why would I bother? Fuck it. I'll milk you for years. Why not? It's not like we have only 80 years to live. Fuck that. We're gonna live forever. I promise you. Fuck it. I'm gonna start a cult, I think.
So there is this saying that respect is not something you demand, it is something you deserve. So maybe there is a two-way street.
No and no. It is not something you demand. It is not something you deserve. It is something that people give you if they feel like that you are doing something respectable. That's how it works. Not demand, not deserve. It's something somebody decides. You know what respect is like? In a very weird way, it is like donations on Twitch. You are doing something that I like. Okay? Here is my appreciation of it. Here is a token of my appreciation. Because I see what you do, I take from it, and I had fun doing it, and you had fun doing it. And nobody asked it, and nobody deserved it. But I just gave it because I felt like it. That's what you made me feel, that I should donate to you. That is how respect works in real life. Not demand, not deserve. How do I know if the other person deserves it? I don't know that person. How do I know if I walk into the dojo and I see the master? Here is a real life story. I would always laugh at people who were so gullible, and that is something that my teacher did not demand, by the way. Okay? But when they would enter the school, just to see what we're doing, whatever, they would fucking salute the teacher. To which I would always be like, I mean, sometimes I looked at Tassos, who was my teacher, and he would be fucking smirking at me, and I would be smirking back. I would be like, sure, buddy. Okay, why are you showing this guy respect? You don't even know him. Who even, like, why are you even doing what you're doing? You don't even know. You just do it. Like, you're a bitch. You know? It's like, we would kind of laugh about it. Like, we would be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, it's kind of goofy, dude. So when you build a whole system around that fact, which they are, oh, you enter the temple, you have to be spoon-fed this information. Fuck you, my dude. I ain't got time for this shit. Does your style work or not? Like, do you have something to teach me? Go on, dude. Just show me. Like, show me some things. I'm gonna catch something. I'm gonna be like, okay, I want to learn this. Let's lab it. Let's fucking lab it. Let's analyze it. Let's fucking lab it. Let's go. Come over here. Help me, or put one other student with me, so we can actually fucking test it and like see what's going on, and like just kind of work around it and see if it's suitable and all that. It's martial arts training is labbing. You're labbing things. It's nothing to do with fucking morality, and discipline and all that. Those are personal decisions. I personally decided that I'd rather be a good person than a bad person based on what I think is bad or good. It has nothing to do with martial arts. When you enter a martial arts place, you're entering a laboratory. You are going to experiment, you're going to fail, you're going to succeed, you're going to theorize, you're going to learn, you're going to understand. You will test and test and test and test. That is also part of martial arts. You're labbing. You can't go in there and be like, oh no, that knowledge is going to be given from the master blaster to the master master. Then the master master is going to decide if the simple master can handle 1/10 of that, and 1/10 of that is up for that person to decide if the lieutenant or whatever deserves that, and then the lieutenant will decide, oh, now I have this sacred bit of knowledge. How much should I give the other students since I'm above them? Like, this creates nothing but a fucking meal of like bad information regurgitated in stupid ways. Like, it doesn't matter. It's dog shit. I'm sorry.
As well. You know, it's nice that all of these expressions, you can demand respect. I mean, somebody can show up here and just say who he is and show me some certificate and say, because of this, you have to respect me. First of all, I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. So you're now contradicting your whole fucking system because you said that the master is somebody who is a master because of your arbitrary fucking rule set. Now you're saying that somebody else doing that to you isn't the real master. You know what I'm hearing? My God is better than your God. You know, that's what I'm hearing.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not that I belittle it in the first place.
You have already belittled it.
Yeah. Okay, so if somebody can show some certificates, if shows up in a certain uniform, then of course also for me, not knowing the person, already okay. It's not that he did nothing. There must be a reason why he has a certificate.
Master? What if it's fucking Halloween and I'm just pranking you?
There must be a reason why he wears the black belt.
Yeah.
So
Master be a reason? Because you know how you grind a black belt? I think it's like less than a year with sports taekwondo.
even if I don't know him, he does have a certain amount of respect. Okay.
No, he don't. I'm sorry. And you don't either.
But that type of respect can fade very quickly when the behavior of that person just doesn't fit to your world perception of how a master or any human being.
But we have already established that you are the one who are presupposing what a master is. So it's always under your criteria. Thereby, in your head, you're putting your in your head. Sorry, but in your head, you're putting your criteria like above other people because you think you are the one who can determine who deserves respect and why. Man, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm fucking done, kid. Get fucked. Yeah, no offense. Get fucked, kid. Good try. Nah. I'll tell you what I think, though. Like, as a closing word, just be right back. Listen here. Martial arts is not a doctrine. It's not a dogma. It's not a cult. It's not religion. It's not morality. It's not a compass. It's not anything. It's not discipline. It's nothing. Martial arts is your ability to come out on top of a situation that involves physical violence. That's it. The end. That ability is determined by things such as tactical thinking, awareness, perception, clear mind, creativity, imagination, intuition, initiative, confidence, fighting spirit, your physical abilities, things like that. That's what determines it, nothing else. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. That's what you should study. That's what you should research. That's what you should lab and practice. Everything else, even whenever I've told you to be a good person, even down to the point where I'm telling you things such as act out of goodness, all that is my subjective choice. I hate to say it, but in a vacuum, none of that is required. You could be the worst asshole I've ever met. If for some reason I decided to talk to you, being the worst asshole I've ever met, immoral, wretched, completely, a bad person, genuinely evil. But if in a vacuum, somehow you convinced me and you told me, hey, I may be all those things, and maybe it's certain that what you tell me I will use for a bad purpose that you consider is bad, right? But if we ignore that, what can you tell me of martial arts? My answers would not be different than if a good person, according to me, came to me and said, hey, what do you know of martial arts? So it is completely separate, sadly. And so all of what that guy was saying about respect, about this, masteries, ranks, degrees, bullshit, it's all nothing. It means nothing to me, at least. It means absolutely nothing to me. You know why I felt good about being taught by a person? Because I saw that person's ability and I was like, I need to understand this and close the gap between us in terms of skill. I have to do that. Genuinely, one of my very first thoughts, and it didn't come from a bad place, I assure you of that. When I saw Tassos for the second time that I went there, when I see anyone, not just my teacher, let's say my previous teacher, what I think if they impress me in some way, impress upon me, that is to say, is like, okay, one day I have to defeat you. That is like instinctively one of my thoughts. Okay, one day I have to defeat you. I must learn until I am able to defeat you. If I can't do that, I have never learned. For example, right? So it's not like I never went into a place. What I'm trying to say is not flex, but like it's to say that I never go into a place and immediately fall in line and salute and go like, okay, this person deserves respect because they are the master, like and the master blaster, and like what the fuck is this shit? Nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares. Do you know for how long in during my training? For more than like again like around 12 to 14 years, right? Do you know how often I wore an outfit like a uniform? Maybe 10% of it. Do you know how often I wore a belt? Whenever my pants didn't fit anymore because I was losing weight. That's all. I needed something to hold my pants up during practice. I never wanted to be the one to salute the master. I never wanted to be like I didn't give a shit about that shit, honestly. You know what that ended up doing, like between me and Tassos, for example, where we became friends. We literally became friends. Did that ever poison my learning? No, never. There were times where he would just go like, "Hey," because he had like a really cool car, by the way, and he would be like, "Really fucking expensive." Like his car was the only thing that he was like, because Tassos was like far more spiritual than I am, right? And religious. And anyway, so what he would say is like, often he would be like, "Okay, I don't have anything in my life," and he didn't. He literally was staying in the dojo. The dojo was his house, and his house was a dojo. It wasn't a house. He didn't have privacy. He was sleeping in the in a small like semi floor which was also his office. That's where he was in, in a sleeping bag, literally. But he did have a very cool car, like a very cool car, and really fast and everything. And sometimes he would say, "Hey, I'm gonna go, put it through what's the expression? Put it through its gears or something, whatever that expression. Wanna come with?" And I would be like, "Yeah, sure, Tassos, you know." And he would come over and he would pick me up, and then we would go for a fucking, we would speed, we would like go really fast, and we would go around like Athens and shit. And it was really cool. One time we even went out for a drink, you know. That's what it did. We became friends. That was cool. We wouldn't have become friends ever if I was like, oh, respect, oh, salute, oh, this, oh, that, the master. Never would have happened, dude. Never would have happened. You know how I know? Because it never happened with anyone else. Nobody else was his friend. Out of like 100 people that were coming and going, you know how I know? Because I was there. I was there every fucking day, 4 hours a day. Nobody became his friend. I became his friend because I never fucking, you know why? Ironically, because I never respected him as much as, in theory, I should have. I was like, nah, man, we're kind of equal, you know? Maybe not in skill, but hey, we're both human and we like to chill and learn martial arts. Let's fucking go. Already cool enough by me, you know? On the contrary, the person who was the most about respect and the most about belts and the most about grading was this fucking idiot with a black belt and two fucking done. Two done. Same school that I was going at. He couldn't even fucking touch me if I didn't want to. That guy was full of respect. And full of dogma. And full of salutes and full of theories. So, I don't fucking know, dude. You tell me what you make of it. I'm just gonna tell you that martial arts and about all what that guy said. Like, whatever that guy was saying in this fucking interview was literally just not tell us about martial arts, but rather tell us about the hierarchical systems of Shaolin Temple. Tell us about your beliefs about the Shaolin Temple, and that's it. Like, there's no martial arts there. That wasn't the martial arts video. This was fucking nothing. This was literally fucking nothing. It was a nothing burger. When it comes to martial arts, it was a nothing burger. Completely. So I wasted my time. And yours. But you know what? I've warned you before about this because I'm a fucking ninja. That was my intent all along. I distracted you for 2 hours to the 10 minutes remaining. Got them again. Oh god, the oldest book in the trick. Not even the oldest trick in the book. It's just the oldest book in the tricks, baby. Ah. Oh my god, got him. Alright. Mission accomplished. You've lost 2 hours of your life. I'm killing you slowly like poison. Woo! Okay. Good shit. Good strats. Good streaming strats right there. Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, no, I just I don't know. In all seriousness, I will simply disregard everything that guy said because it had nothing to do with martial arts, at least not in my book. The only thing that may have something to do with martial arts may have been his argument that like knowledge should be limited and trickling down from one person to the other, and that it is perfect but also not perfect, and that we are perfect but also not perfect. I think that's the closest he got to talking about martial arts. Like, yeah, limit yourself in what you learn for some weird reason. If you do that, you're a moron. If somebody else is limiting you, they're a moron and you shouldn't learn from them. That's it. That's basically it. Everything else that he said was irrelevant bullshit that will never have any impact on your martial art training. All that dog shit about respect, about mastery master, and grandmaster and blaster master, grandmaster, is all that like just fucking irrelevant bullshit. At best, and at most is like some kind of like fucking cult behavior. I don't care about that at all. So yeah, and this is not a commentary on whatever political situation you think is going on up there. I don't give a shit about the temple and like what goes on in China and all that. I couldn't be more far removed, even geographically, from fucking China. So I don't have a fucking opinion about that shit. But what that guy in particular was talking about was like just dog shit. I'm sorry, like zero value for somebody looking to find information on martial arts at all. Like at all, nothing. It was nothing. There was nothing burger. Ah well, I was kind of expecting it because it always ends up like that with like. And I don't mean to like pile them all on, put them all in the same pile or something. But well, statistically, somehow that's always how it ends when you see like a Shaolin dude just like going for an interview. And even though I am also not too supportive of whatever I've heard from Ranton, for example, I'm also not that supportive because I do understand. I am sensitive to a group of people having like some kind of legacy, some kind of like tradition, and a creed or something that they follow. I'm kind of lenient. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna persecute them verbally. I'm not gonna like you do you. It's fine. It's whatever. So Ranton shitting all over that is like not my cup of tea either. But like, ironically, I'm gonna say the balance is what's important here. Like balancing between those two things. Like, yeah, it's not bad that they're like that, but at the same time, don't get bamboozled by it either. Like, just it's nothing special, and nothing was said about martial arts, as I said again. So pointless. And it also kind of checks out with what Randon has been saying as well, which why would I not like trust his first-hand experience? I'll take it in good faith that like yeah, it's really just not that good, honestly. Life in the monastery is just not that good. Um, yeah. So whatever, dude. I don't know, fucking know. Make your own decisions. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it, and that's all you're gonna get from me today. And let me just do that, and then do this, and then nothing. That's it. 2 hours. Our time is up. Kaori, thanks again for the subscription. I appreciate it. And oh, a bunny. Why is the bunny? No, it's a cute bunny. But why is the bunny there? Also, sorry that you see it two times. It's wait, I'll fix that. There you go. Now you won't see it twice. All right. Why is the bunny? What does the bunny imply? You may be at work and not able to actually type or anything. So I'll take the bunny. All right, but no, it was interesting to, you know, I knew that this was going to end up like that. I knew that that's the opinion I was going to have. But it's good to have it confirmed in a way, because then you at least review it, right? You at least confirm what's going on. And yeah, nothing's changed. I still have the same opinions. I will still say that the system itself, because since nothing was said about martial arts, I might as well say something about kung fu myself. So even though I don't have extensive experience with it, I can tell you for a fact that because I've practiced similar systems, and when I say similar, don't get your panties in a twist, okay? By similar, we mean systems because if you break it down, that's what it is basically. Systems that are based on like um, a lot of discipline and a lot of like repetition in exercise and a lot of like strains, choreographed moves that seem to be ineffective. I'll tell you, it's not that they're ineffective, it's that their application, their practical application, would require an already deep understanding of combat, of yourself, of martial arts, to be able to implement um, such strategies as, for example, incorporating various stances and all that. Such systems are usually quite advanced, let's say. Quite advanced in the sense of you would have to practice your mind a lot and to be able to see a couple of steps ahead in order to incorporate them successfully. And I won't say it's always the case, but often enough, I won't say more often than not, I will say often enough, I'll be generous. A lot of these, let's say, techniques, right? Um, the results that they achieve can be achieved in a more economic way for yourself. That doesn't mean that they're not awesome for flexing. All right. So yeah, I'd say it's not garbage. I'd say there is a lot of things to learn from that. And I'd say if you reach a level where you can incorporate that into your um, fighting, well, managing to do so has already benefited you in other ways. You've already kind of like increased your perception, increased your forward thinking. Should I call it that? Your pre-planning, let's say that, right? Um, to a level where you can create circumstances favorable to you, for example, stuff like that. Nothing, earth-shattering, but definitely good to practice. Um, so don't diss it just because your stupid mind is telling you, ah, good luck pulling that off in combat. I don't know, my guy. It's that's your work. You're supposed to do that, right? You are supposed to find a way to make it work. You're supposed to find a way to weave it into whatever the fuck you're doing in the moment. If you can't, don't blame the fucking system. You know, as simple as that. That's it. And judging by the amount of people that are operating on the conception of on the idea of like, oh, if it's simple and effective and brutal, it's the best ever. No surprise that that kind of simplistic thinking will mean that you're actively stopping yourself from the possibilities offered by more nuanced um, methods of fighting. Let's put it that way. Um, and I'm the first to tell you that like simple and effective is often underrated. But let me also be the first to tell you that simple and effective is also very, very overrated, because there is no such thing as, in the end of the day, as simple but also easy but also super effective. Nah, at best you're gonna go to, well, it's simple, and well, yeah, it's effective. That's it. If you want anything else, you have to untrain your mind from thinking that like certain techniques are too fancy, or oh my god, this looks like dancing. Well, then you better dance, you fucking ape. Train your body to dance, you fucking monkey. Dance for mommy. Dance, damn it. But no, seriously. I had to, okay? I'm sorry. But like, no, seriously, it's up to you, dude. You're in control of your body, okay? Make it do funny things that are enjoyable to you. You know, if you can't even do that, you better stick to, I don't know, swinging a stick around. Because it's simple and effective, right? Maybe somebody else is gonna swing it more effectively and then you're gonna change your mind. Anyway, all right, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope it was pleasant, and I hope that I don't know, something good. I hope that your day is